So one of the most common questions I get from people who watch this channel or from anyone who's considering buying a new construction home is, are they a good builder? Or who is the best builder? And that is a really good question and one that I have a surprising answer for. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll answer it specifically. But first, let's talk about the overall sentiment of what it means to be a good builder or not a good builder. Over the last 20 years, I've worked with dozens of builders on hundreds of homes. I definitely have some preferences. There are some I'd rather work with than others. However, when it comes to the question of who is the best builder or whether a builder is good or not, my answer is pretty consistent. None of them are really good builders, or it's really difficult to assess if one builder is better than another or who the best builder might be. And we are talking about production builders specifically. But by default, a production builder is designed to be average, maybe above average if you're lucky, but that's the baseline of what you can expect when you buy a new construction home from one of the large production builders. Look, I'm not here to be down on new construction homes or beat up on builders. I work with lots of builders. I think they offer fantastic products sometimes and frankly, some of the better deals out there in today's market. But I want to set the expectation up front that they should not get the benefit of the doubt. I don't want you to go into the situation thinking that the builder is for some reason or somehow going to do something for you, go above and beyond on your transaction when they're simply not designed to operate that way. Even within the same community, from the same builder, they might do a fantastic job on one home and someone's super happy, but the house right next door might have a litany of problems. Every home is different. Every piece of land is different. The team that works on the properties are different. And that's why it's tough to say if a builder is a good builder or not a good builder, because it really just depends on the team on the ground at any given time. Look, the average new home community size is over 340 homes. That's the average. There are many communities, especially here in my market, where there'll be 1,000 new homes. The on-site team has a lot of turnover throughout the life of a project. So if a team did really well when a community opened, if the construction manager was on point, if subcontractors were on point, and whoever you talked to had a great experience, that might not be the same team that works on your home. So we should not give them the benefit of the doubt or assume because they did a good job for one person that they'll do a good job for you. And let's be frank here. These builders, many of them publicly traded companies, they are incentivized to maximize profit, be efficient, and move on to the next home. Think about it. If you're in a community that has 1,000 homes to be built, if a builder or a subcontractor can figure out a way to save a couple $100 here and there, you're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of additional profit because they were able to shave a couple bags of insulation on your home. Now, none of this negates the need to be diligent, do your research, check the Better Business Bureau, look up reviews online, and really do your homework with regards to trying to determine whether a builder is a good builder or not. And I'm not here bashing builders. I'm just here sort of telling you the way it works. If you're a publicly traded company, your responsibility is to your shareholders to maximize profit. Your responsibility is not to each individual homeowner that maybe wants some imperfections in their home taken care of, or maybe they're not happy with the way something looks. Or maybe the deck is slanted. That's the recent one that came up, a slanted deck. That's why I bring it up. The builder said it was actually fine. They said it was designed that way for water to run off, but ultimately we had them make a modification because it was just way too obvious. So why do I have this attitude? Well, the moment I start to sort of be a cheerleader for the builder, I kind of lose my edge. I'm not an adversary of the builder, right? I'm not their enemy, but I'm certainly not on their team. And when I go into these situations, my role is very specific. I am there to hold them accountable. I am there to help you hold them accountable. And if we're all lovey-dovey up front, that task can sometimes become harder. Or even worse, I might be setting an expectation for my client that the builder can do no wrong. Or if the builder says something, we should roll with it. And that's not what I want to communicate. So how do you actually get a high quality home? How do you actually make sure that when you do build a new home in a new community that you get a good home or an above average home? And I'll tell you what you don't do first. And this is actually quite common. And it's something that I used to do a lot early on in my career because I was also at one point naive. It's not unusual for a buyer to come in, sign a contract, pick out their house, do the whole design center thing, and then they'll disappear. They'll show up for mandatory meetings. Maybe they'll have a pre-inspection, maybe with an inspector who doesn't really even know how to build a house. Right? There's a big difference there in the type of inspector you want for a new home versus a resale home. The buyers will give the builder the benefit of the doubt. They'll show up at closing, think, okay, it's a new house, everything should be fine. That's the way it is. They said it's okay. And then next thing you know, they're dealing with warranty issues. They're online leaving bad reviews. Unfortunately, they're just not happy for any number of reasons. And that's because they were a passive home buyer and not assertive when it mattered. So how do you incentivize a builder to make sure you get an above average home? Earlier, I mentioned that the builder's incentive is to maximize profit and be efficient. What's the old saying? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Be the squeaky wheel. Be proactive. Be curious. Don't trust everything the builder says. Never give them the benefit of the doubt. Follow your instinct. Follow your gut. If something doesn't look right, say something. If you're not happy about the craftsmanship, bring it to someone's attention. If the builder's making changes on the fly, you really want to understand why we're changing that. What other options do we have? Is this the best thing possible for me in my situation? Or is this the easiest path forward for the builder to get the house done in a timely manner? It's really important to develop relationships with the team on the ground. I really want to have an interpersonal relationship with the project manager. I want them to have my phone number. I want to have their cell phone number. And I want to have a line of communication open so that when something does go wrong, I know who to call. I want to visit the home site as frequently as possible. Definitely not bad practice to try to visit the site every day. I know it sounds crazy, but especially in that last 3 months of construction, when you're doing all the finish work, visiting the home site as often as possible will save you time, energy, and headaches down the road. Again, most builders are capable of delivering average homes, but if you're the squeaky wheel, if you're the thorn in their side, the builder will think twice about trying to pass something on to you that might be below average. We want the builder to be incentivized to fix something before it even gets to us. We want the builder to be incentivized to make corrections when we ask for versus try to fight us on it, because they know we're educated, because they know our position, they know our expectations. And the last thing they want to do is allocate more time, more resources, and more money to our home where it might just be easier for them to fix the problem in the first place. So in the end, most builders are totally capable of delivering an acceptable home, an average home. If you're lucky, everything goes fine. You're none the wiser. If you're unlucky, or if you're passive or unassuming, you may find yourself in a position where you're really unsatisfied with a home, and I've seen it happen time and time again. And I'll make another video about how you hold the builder accountable, especially when it comes to craftsmanship, which is not the same as sort of a structural integrity issue. Those are a little bit more straightforward. What if something just doesn't look right? What if you don't like the way the tile is installed or the floor is laid? How do we work with the builder to rectify an issue that might cost them tens of thousands of dollars? That's it. Are they a good builder? Who is the best builder? And my answer is none of them. They're all average. And then if you want to get a good home, an above average home, it's up to you to be diligent. It's up to you to do your homework. And it's up to you to make sure that you're holding the builder accountable, taking a personal responsibility, taking a personal interest in the construction of your home, because ultimately the buck stops with you. It's your home. You're paying for it. Work with someone who's not afraid of ruffling feathers, of getting in screaming matches with builders and managers and salespeople. It happens. And if you do all those things, you're very likely to get an above average or good home. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. Feel free to reach out to me with any other questions. Thanks.